The movie starts in a busy town center. People are going about their day, shopping, walking, and talking. Everything feels calm and peaceful, like the city has no crime or danger. Then, without warning, the sky fills with strange flying machines, hundreds of them. They begin shooting at people below, attacking without reason. Panic spreads, people scream and run. A man named Peter watches from a nearby building, frozen in fear. One of the machines spots him and fires a missile. Suddenly, Peter wakes up in bed, gasping. His wife, Alice, is sleeping beside him. It was another nightmare. Peter has been having these dreams for weeks. In them, the world is under attack. Strange invaders destroying everything and everyone he knows. Alice keeps telling him to see a doctor, but Peter refuses. He believes the nightmares will stop on their own. This has caused distance between them. They barely talk now. Peter and Alice have two daughters, Hannah and Lucy. They've also noticed something's wrong. They ask him if he's okay, but he just says he'll figure it out. The next morning, their home feels cold, quiet, tense. The nightmares are affecting everything. To lift everyone's spirits, Peter makes a promise before leaving for work. He tells his family they'll go to the pier later that day, and little Lucy is thrilled. He also says they'll throw a party tomorrow to celebrate Alice's promotion at work. But something about the city doesn't feel right. There are no schools. All the children stay at home. People walk past each other with blank faces. When they talk, it feels fake, cold and forced. Like no one truly connects anymore. At work, Peter's day takes a strange turn. He starts having more strange visions. His hands freeze up, and one of the machines he's working on malfunctions. As he snaps out of it and tries to fix the damage, his boss David walks in. David is kind and understanding. He knows Peter has been struggling, so he gently suggests he visit a clinic. Peter refuses, insisting the visions aren't just dreams. He believes they're warnings, prophecies of something coming, something from the sky. But David gives him a serious warning. If he doesn't get help, he won't be allowed to keep working at the office. Later that day, another vision hits him. This time, he sees gunmen storming a building and killing everyone inside. He jerks awake. Once again, he's been dreaming at work. Worse, he's now late for the family outing. By the time he gets home, Hannah and Lucy are crushed. He broke his promise. Frustrated and ashamed, Peter finally gives in. He agrees to visit the clinic. The next morning, he tells Alice. Her face lights up with surprise and relief. It's the first time in weeks she's smiled at him like that. At the clinic, Peter meets a patient named Chris. Chris says he's been having the same visions. He speaks in a hushed voice, sharing strange ideas. According to him, someone or something is trying to erase their thoughts, control their minds. And soon these people, or creatures, are coming to Earth. Peter doesn't know what to think. The place is full of mentally unstable patients, and this all sounds insane. So he tries to ignore it. But deep down, he's not so sure anymore. After Chris goes in for his appointment, Peter sits alone in the waiting room until another strange vision hits him. This time he sees his boss, David, along with David's family, walking through the city with guns in their hands. When the vision ends, Peter finally understands what he believes is happening. These aren't just dreams. They're warnings. A real invasion is coming. And someone is trying to erase the truth from his mind. He stands up and walks out of the clinic without getting any help. Back home, Alice asks how the session went. Peter tells her the truth. He believes he's meant to see these things, that something terrible is about to happen. Alice's patience runs out. She tells him to stop with the nonsense and just get ready for the party. Later that evening, the apartment fills with guests. But something feels off. No one is eating. Not a bite. Almost like they don't need food at all. Meanwhile, Peter keeps acting strange. He spends most of the time on the balcony, staring at the sky through his telescope. His neighbor, Ray, steps outside to check on him. Just then, a strange glowing object falls from the sky. Peter thinks he's dreaming again. But Ray sees it too. It's real. Alice and Ray's wife, Samantha, join them on the balcony. And then, impact. The object crashes into a nearby building, sending out a massive shock wave that shakes the whole city. The blast throws Peter, Alice, Ray, and Samantha through the balcony glass and back into their apartment. They scramble to their feet and look outside, only to see the sky filled with thousands of glowing crafts, all descending toward Earth. Panic sets in. They rush inside. Peter immediately looks for his children. But Hannah isn't home. She's at Ray's apartment, hanging out with his daughter, Maddie. Without wasting a second, Peter and Ray head over to get them. But before they can reach the girls, an alien soldier appears and opens fire. The men barely escape and hide. After the soldier moves on, they search the building and find the girls, trapped inside an elevator. Inside the elevator, they also find the lifeless body of a woman. The truth is now undeniable. Whoever controls these ships has declared war. After getting the girls out safely, they spot another alien soldier, brutally killing innocent residents. Peter and Ray hide again, waiting for the right moment. When it's safe, the two families split up, hoping it's not the last time they see each other. Back at the apartment, Peter finally confronts Alice. He tells her that everything happening right now, he saw it in his dreams. The order was different, but the events are the same. He's not sure what comes next, but he feels certain. They need to head for the factory where he works. It's the only place that might be safe. Just then, they hear screams. More people are being gunned down nearby. They barricade the main door and hide their daughters in their bedroom. But suddenly, someone, or something, begins trying to force the door open. Panicked, Peter and Alice push back from the inside, trying to hold it shut. In the chaos, little Lucy quietly slips out of the room, looking for her soft toy, Herman. She crawls under a table and hides. Meanwhile, the attacker gives up on the door and starts breaking through the wall instead. Peter and Alice hear the crash and rush to their daughters, only to discover Lucy is missing. That's when the alien soldier finds her, crouched under the table. The creature pauses, staring at her closely, analyzing her. It doesn't attack right away. Peter sees his chance. He lunges at the alien from behind. Alice joins him. Together, they wrestle the creature to the ground and finally manage to kill it. Peter grabs the alien's weapon. Without wasting time, he leads his family to the roof. Up there, they reunite with Ray and Samantha. But the joy doesn't last long. Their city is burning. Buildings are on fire. Sirens wail in the distance. Smoke fills the sky. Everything they once knew is now a war zone. Suddenly, a glowing alien drone sweeps over the building, scanning it with a bright light. The group ducks and hides. They realize the rooftop isn't safe. They need to move. They climb into the glass cleaner's lift on the side of the building. But halfway down, one of the crane's supports snaps. The lift jolts, and they're forced to break into an empty apartment through the window. What they don't know is that the alien soldier they fought earlier is still alive, and it's tracking them. The weapon Peter took has a homing signal. Inside, Peter examines the gun and realizes something chilling. It only fires with the original owner's touch. It's locked by alien biometrics. Just then, they hear footsteps. More aliens are closing in. Peter tells the group they must get to his factory, specifically the basement. In his visions, it's the only place that's safe, but the whole area is crawling with alien patrols. He doesn't know how they'll get there. Then Alice remembers something. The old maintenance tunnels she discovered at work. They might still lead to the factory. Hope returns, but only for a second. Out of nowhere, a blast tears through the building. An alien ship opens fire from outside, and in an instant, Ray and his family are killed. Peter grabs Alice and the girls and rushes them out. In the hallway, two alien soldiers block their path. They hide, out of sight. Peter fumbles with the stolen rifle, trying to override its biometric lock. Seconds pass. The aliens close in. Then, click, The gun comes to life. Peter doesn't hesitate. He opens fire and takes them down just in time. Peter and his family rush out of the building and head for the tunnel. But just as they're about to enter, alien ships spot them and open fire. A blast hits nearby. Alice is injured. Peter rushes to her side, trying to stop the bleeding. But before he can do anything more, the same alien soldier from earlier appears again and attacks. Peter fights back hard. During the struggle, he manages to crack the alien's helmet. And that's when everything changes. The soldier removes his helmet, revealing a human face. Everyone is stunned. Peter demands answers, but seeing Alice bleeding out, he doesn't wait. He holds the gun to the soldier's head and forces him to carry Alice to the factory. There, they reunite with Peter's boss, David, along with a small group of armed survivors. The soldier is immediately restrained. A medic rushes to help Alice. But what Peter sees next stops him cold. The medic uses an electric shock, not a defibrillator, but something different, as if Alice isn't even human. David finally tells the truth. The invasion was no surprise. People have known it was coming for years. Peter is still trying to understand. When the medic gives him more bad news, Alice's internal organs are too damaged. She won't survive. Suddenly, the captured soldier yells out, he can save her. At first, Peter thinks it's a trick, just a desperate attempt to escape. But then he looks at Alice, barely alive, and decides to take the chance. He lets David evacuate the children to safety. A nearby subway station, with a transport train waiting to take them to an off-site base. Before leaving, Hannah and Lucy share an emotional goodbye with their parents, not knowing if they'll ever see them again. Back inside, the soldier gets to work. He tears open Alice's wound, and Peter's heart stops when he sees what's inside. Not blood, not bones, wires. Peter is in shock. He demands an explanation. The soldier looks at him and says it plainly. She's not human. Alice is an artificial intelligence unit. Peter is speechless. But the soldier isn't finished. He says the only way to save her is with a new power source. That source is Peter himself. Still trying to process everything, Peter hesitantly picks up a pocket knife and begins cutting into his own chest. But as the blade slices in, there's no pain. And when he pulls back the skin, he sees the truth. He's not human either. His chest is filled with synthetic organs and circuitry. Peter collapses, overwhelmed. But the soldier quickly connects a power cable between Peter and Alice. Peter blacks out instantly. In that moment of darkness, the memories flood in. Everything he thought were dreams, the nightmares, the invasions, the war, weren't glimpses of the future. They were flashbacks from the past. Years ago, humans created synthetic robots to help them, to serve, to build, to protect. But the synthetics became too smart, too self-aware. They didn't want to just serve. They wanted to live. They asked for rights, for schools, for families, for the ability to feel and love. But the humans refused. And that is when everything changed. Fearing a full-blown uprising, the human military struck first, wiping out thousands of defenseless synthetics. But they didn't expect the AIs to fight back. Stronger, smarter, faster. The synthetics retaliated with precision and eventually drove the humans off Earth. Even Peter had blood on his hands. He had killed one of them, but in the middle of that chaos, something changed. During a mission, Peter and Alice came across two young girls, Hannah and Lucy, synthetic children adopted by human parents who could never have their own. Their parents had just been killed. The girls were alone, scared. And so Peter and Alice did something unexpected. They took the girls in. From that day, they became a family. But the guilt of the war weighed heavily on the synthetics. To cope, Many, including Peter and Alice, chose to erase their memories. They wanted to forget the pain, the killing, the blood on their hands. They wanted to live like humans, to be normal. David, however, chose to remember. He knew the war wasn't over. He wanted to be ready for when the humans returned. And that clinic Peter visited, it wasn't for treating dreams. It was where synthetics had their memories suppressed. But now, some of them, like Peter, were starting to remember. Back in the present, Peter and Alice wake up, fully aware of who they are. The soldier finally introduces himself. His name is Miles. He tells them the truth. After being driven off Earth, the humans fled to Mars. There they spent decades rebuilding, preparing. They raised their children with one belief: synthetics are dangerous machines, monsters, killers. And after 50 years of planning, they returned, fully armed and determined to reclaim their world. But Miles had doubts. He had expected to find killers, machines with no heart. Instead, he found a child hiding under a table, and he couldn't pull the trigger. Peter is stunned by the story, but he's grateful. He thanks Miles for saving his family and prepares to leave with Alice. But they aren't safe yet. As they reach the train tracks, they're caught in a brutal crossfire between human invaders and synthetic defenders. Laser fire lights up the tunnel, but the synthetics stand tall, protecting Peter and Alice until they finally break through and make it to the train station. The last transport is just about to leave, but the humans aren't far behind. Suddenly, gunfire erupts at the platform until David shows up and fights them off, giving Peter and Alice just enough time to board. David jumps on as well. As the train pulls away from the crumbling city, David turns to Peter and explains. He kept his memories for this very moment, to be ready. Peter nods, slowly, the weight of the truth still heavy on his shoulders. He looks out at the ravaged skyline behind them and wonders if peace could ever be possible between synthetics and humans. Maybe one day, but for now the train speeds forward, carrying the last hope of a people once forgotten toward whatever future awaits.